Hey, grace and peace, everybody. We're back. We're up in the building. Good morning to you all. Hopefully you all had a beautiful week. My wife just arrived at the office, so I appreciate her letting me know that. Thank you, babes. I hope you all had a fantastic week. It's been a great week over here at Whitaker Park. So I said I would jump on very quickly this morning because I was going to do a video reaction to a fantastic discussion on DIE, which is that practice of diversity, inclusion, and equity. And I was going to do a reaction to it. And I said, well, why don't I just do it with, a couple of my favorites? So we're going to just do that and look at this reaction from Vince Ellison today. And we'll actually listen to him lecture and speak on DIE, and then we'll hopefully get some feedback from y'all. So shout out to you all. Thank you so much for jumping into the best live chat on the internet. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in and say what's up to the people. I already see Q in the building. What are we talking about on this lovely Friday? We're going to be talking about DIE. But before, you know what? Shout out before I get too far afield. I want to shout out two content creators. Yesterday I had an opportunity to do like a little impromptu meetup with two of our favorites here from the channel. So if the mods could go ahead and drop, that's right, Crystal with the B, Crystal Beyond Labels, please forgive me, her link in the chat, as well as Wise from A Righteous Perspective. Had a chance to have lunch with them yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. And by the way, Wise voice does sound like that in person, and Crystal is as fabulous as she comes across on screen. Is in reality as well. So shout out to them. We had a chance to sit down and talk about YouTube and family and all that kind of, and pickleball. I don't know why I keep picking on Wise because he plays pickleball. But we had a great conversation yesterday. Great time. So shout out. But have no fear. Have no fear. We've determined now the next time we do this, because Crystal lives here in Atlanta. So maybe we'll just start doing some meetups. We'll start doing some community meetups with some other content creators, have a little sit down, have some lunch, maybe have some drinks or whatever, meet at a park, play pickleball, something, who knows. So shout out to Wise. Thank you so much, Q, for dropping A Righteous Perspective and Crystal Beyond Labels in the chat. It was just a lot of fun. So if you ever get an opportunity to meet some of the people that you interact with here on these YouTube streets and in the YouTube suburbs, it's cool. So shout out to them both. I had a good time. Wise actually is from Atlanta originally, and he was here to see family. So said, hey, let's all catch up. So we caught up and had a good little lunch and a good conversation. So shout out to both of them. Fantastic content creators. Glad I got a chance to catch up with them. But thank you to everybody who's jumped in. This was a very impromptu. I was literally about to sit down and record the video. And I said, hey, why not just do it with y'all? Y'all can watch it with me. So shout out. Thank you so much, Crystal. Q. Thank you so much, Q, for dropping Crystal Beyond Labels in the chat. Thank you so much. Shout out to my moderators, man. Y'all make it work. Y'all make it work. So yesterday I was talking to my brother, and he was talking to me about Target and the Target boycott. And I had totally forgotten. I'm sorry. I totally gave up on the Target boycott. I thought I didn't know we were still doing that. And needless to say, some people are still doing that. I'm like, whatever. I don't think Target is missing a beat. But I did look, and let me just real quick pull it back up. Target stock is not doing that well. And I don't necessarily think that it's prime. I do think maybe the boycott is making a little bit of inroads, causing some problems, if you will. But Target stock has been going down for a minute. And so I don't know if it's primarily because of the quote unquote Target boycott. Let me pull this in. I do think it's because of some bad decisions that Target has made in the past. And that stuff is just continuing to fester and nip at their heels. That I believe in. And so let me pull this in real quick so you can see it. All right. So this stock it's going sideways, man. It is not lovely. It's not doing lovely. Now, let's also remember, if we're looking at this, it's easy to say, man, Target stock is really going down. But let's go back a couple of years. Let's go back to year to date. It's been going down for a while. And if you go back 5 years, it ballooned in 2021 it started in 2020. It ballooned, probably inflated to $261 a share. That was pretty high. And why was it like that? Because of the pandemic and people having money sitting on their houses doing nothing, buying and shopping online. I'm sure we'll see the exact same thing, a very similar thing with Amazon and Walmart and other places. But of course, now that we're out of the pandemic, people are going back to work and such like that. Now we do have we're in definitely an inflationary economy. We got tariffs left and right and center. We got a little bit of unrest. So sure, stock has gone down. I don't think it's because of the Target boycott. So Jamal Bryant, kick rocks. So I started looking and I said, man, I didn't realize people even still talking about DIE. And my brother was talking about it. I'm like, dude, are you for real? You still talking about that foolishness and a boycott? Man, get out of here. So I went down a rabbit trail and ran across a fantastic video by Vincent Everett Ellison. And I wanted to bring it up and talk about it. I was going to do a reaction to it, but I figured since we're here, why don't we just do it together? I'm not going to talk a lot because he's cooking. So I don't need to interrupt this chef as he's bringing the noise. So I'm going to bring it in. I might say one or two things, but not much because I want to just allow him to cook. So let's bring it in. Grace and peace. Thank you so much. Why are you like this, Q? Why are you like this? Grace and peace. Here we go. Hey, I know that guy. One in the chat when you can hear. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Well, I'm here. And I was around your beautiful city today, and I walked around it, and it's just beautiful. And I think I brought the heat with me. It's beautiful here. You know, our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, he was a country lawyer. He's talking to the jury, and he asked him a question. He said, if you had a dog and you counted his tail as a leg, how many legs would the dog have?
I like that question, and that's a great question. If you had a dog and you counted his leg as a tail, how many legs does the dog have? I think that's a fantastic question. In the chat, what's going on, Marshall? Good morning. How many legs does a dog have? If you count the dog's tail as a leg, how many legs does the dog have? I think that's a fantastic question. It's not even a trick question. How many legs does the dog have? Put in the chat. It's got 4 legs. Shout out. I just thought that was great. Let's bring this in. Let's bring him back in. Let's go.
The jury said 5. He said no. Still be 4. Because the tail is still a tail. Because you call it a leg doesn't make it a leg. It is still a tail. This is kind of what we're talking about here tonight. Just because you call something doesn't mean that that's what it is. We've gone into a level of abject insanity here in America, and it's got to be dealt with. Man, I was walking through the city today, just enjoying the weather and enjoying the people, and I saw this mural on the side of the parking garage. It caught my attention. And it said, weaponize your privilege to save black bodies. And then they got a black man on it, looked like he did. And I was seeing some of the students, and I was saying, hey, what is that about? And a lot of them didn't know. And then one young lady said, I think it came from the Black Lives Matter protests and things that were going on here. And I said, weaponize your privilege. So who are they talking to? And she said, well, I think they're talking to white people. And I said, they're saying they have some type of privilege over me to save black bodies? I mean, what are they saying? And it dawned on me. I said, the left has a God complex. Black people think that they're inferior, and white liberals think that they're God. And black people are praying to white liberals to save their lives. Weaponize your privilege to save black bodies. It reminds me of an outtake from The Godfather, which he left it in the movie, Francis Ford Coppola, but it's an outtake. Vito Corleone is going to see his concierge, Jinko. He's dying. And he brings all of his sons. Jinko's not going to make it through the night. And Jinko's afraid. He's scared to death. He's lying there and he sees Vito come in with his sons. And he says, Godfather, save me from death. When death comes in the room, make some deals. He's seen Vito do all these great things his whole life, right? And he thought the Vito was like supernatural. He said, make a deal with death. Pull some strings, make death go away. And Vito looked at his old friend, seeing how afraid he was, and he looked at him and said, Jinko, I have no such power. Do not fear death. And Chico said, well, then just stay with me. The left would tell the black community that we have that power. See, Vito told Jinko the truth. I have no such power. But when the black community goes to the left and they ask them, can you feed me? Can you clothe me? Can you educate my children? Can you make me like you? Can you make me equal to you? They say, yes, we can do it if you just give us your soul. And for 50, 60 years, we've fallen for that lie. And we're at the bottom of every socioeconomic statistic in the United States of America. Look at where they rule. Everywhere they rule. Detroit, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Memphis, everywhere they rule. Murder, mayhem, death, destruction, worse schools. They control every whorehouse, every crack house, every failing school. Haven't you done enough to my people? Haven't you killed enough of them? Haven't you put enough of them in prison, destroyed enough of their families? I hold you in utter contempt. And then you have the nerve to say you want to expand it. You have no shame. Great movie, Cool Hand Luke. When the warden told Luke he was doing these things to him for his own good. What did Luke tell him? I wish you stop being so good to me, boss. Well, I think that's about what the black community is getting ready to tell the left. I wish y'all stop being so good to us. We want to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion tonight, right? We're dealing with people, y'all, who, at this present time, do not believe in science. Our Declaration of Independence say that we hold these truths to be self-evident. What is self-evident? That means that I shouldn't have to explain this to you. That's what self-evident means. There are some truths that are self-evident. That's a tree. No, it's not. Man, I ain't gonna argue with you about that. If you don't have enough sense to know that's the tree, you know. That's the sun. No, it's not. Dude, that's the sun. No, it's not. No, I mean, Thomas Jefferson said some truths are self-evident. That all men are created equal. I shouldn't have to argue with you about this, okay? Oh, no. Not with the left. No, 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 no. You can tell them that science says a woman has excess chromosome, man has XY. No, they don't. And you just look. It's fluid. Gender is fluid. So I can tell you today that I'm a woman, right? Yeah. And I can go to a woman's bathroom. Yes, you can. And then tomorrow I can tell you I'm a man. Yeah. See, it's insanity. And what we've done, we have become too politically correct to call it exactly what it is. We want to engage them in some type of intelligent conversation. Instead of saying, look, man, you need help. You need, you need to go to a psychiatrist. We need to put you in an institution. Something is wrong with you. The inmates are running the asylum. It's like anything else. Hitler gets power. What did he do? He bring a bunch of psychotics around him. A bunch of crazy guys. And then they went to destroying the whole world. Stalin gets power. What does he do? Since he's crazy, brings a bunch of crazy guys around him. They go to killing their own people. Mao Zedong gets power. And what does Mao do? Brings a bunch of other crazy people around him. And they start killing everybody, 60, 50, 70, 80 million people in China. Now Castro got power. What did Castro do? Brought a bunch of crazy people around him. Started killing people in Cuba, just blowing people's brains out. Him and Che Guevara just went to town. Pol Pot, you name it. Somehow or another, insane people get power. And when they get power, they do crazy stuff. You take it all the way back to Nero, man.
I do want to just take a second. And I also noticed that every one of those people that he just listed, all are professed atheists. Now, I'm not saying, but I am saying there's a reason. God's word is very clear, and it gives us some fantastic guardrails and guideposts as it relates to our thinking. Once we do away with that and do away with God's word, look what we get. Now, I don't think he meant to go there, but I'm going to go there. My name is Jason, dearwokec@gmail.com.
When he made his horse a consulate. We are living in that time right now where insane people have gone at power in media and in government. And they are dictating to us state-sanctioned insanity. And we have to start calling it exactly what it is. I'm not going to entertain your foolishness, man. You're a freaking nutcase. And you need to be put in a straitjacket. I'm not going to argue with you. When you engage a fool in an argument, you don't know who the fool is. You're the fool, you know. Intelligent man can't argue with a fool. And that's what we've been doing, and I refuse to do it. So we walk around saying, why do black people need DEI? Show you how stupid it is, okay? Show you how stupid DEI is. And I say this about affirmative action also. Okay, you say the government is racist. Yeah, government is racist. And businesses are racist. Yeah, they are, and we need DEI and affirmative action. I said, so you're going to give the racist government and the racist business the ability to go into the black community and choose the people that they want to elevate. Who do you think they're going to choose, Malcolm X or Step and Fetch It? Step and Fetch It. They're going to choose the people that they want, the people that they are comfortable with. And this is why, after 50 years of affirmative action, we're still at the bottom of everything. Why? Because they went and chose the black people they wanted. The people in the black caucus, bunch of Step and Fetch It's. What do? Black schools are the worst schools in the history of the world. 85% of the people are not proficient in reading or math. You can bring in school choice. No. Why don't you want school choice? Because, well, they won't tell you this, the teachers' unions give 99% of their money to these guys, and these guys what? And then take care of the teachers' union and give them a monopoly. So, you got a war zone going on down in the ghettos. Why don't you let people arm themselves and defend themselves? No. Why? Well, man, if you arm yourself, you can't keep, what's going to happen when we want to sell the dope on the street and let the illegals in? The people defend themselves, so we can't do that. Well, the people are Christian and they're Muslim and they're Jewish. Why don't you let them pray their religion? No. You kick God out of the schools, brought the drag queens in, put the Bible out to school, brought the porn in, took discipline out to schools. Now what you got? Children cussing out the teacher, fighting, raising hell, smoking blunts. And when you ask them to change it, no, because that's exactly what they want. Based on that, I said before, I'll say it again, loud and proud, perpendicular on the square, that the left are nothing but a cabal of perverts, liars, psychopaths, and anti-Christian bigots. All they do is meditate on blood. Let's see what's coming over that border. Sex trafficking, fentanyl killing 100,000 Americans a year. And they will not stop it. They'll let Ukraine go down. Hey, if you just stop what's going on at the border, we're giving the money for Ukraine. No. You know why? They're replacing you. Better get ready for it. The white Anglo-Saxon Protestant is their enemy. That's the common enemy that they have. They've always said it. And that hodgepodge of weirdos have all come together to form a fist to take you out. And nothing's new under the sun, y'all. Governments have done this before. When they can't control their populations, when they have a part of the population they don't like, they replace them. Hey, ask Adolf Hitler about it, right? He didn't like the Jews, he just replaced them. Stalin didn't like the kulaks, he replaced them. Mao Zedong didn't like the landlords, he replaced them. See where I'm going with this now? And they always want to catch you while you're asleep because you always believe because you're such good people. No one could ever do that. That's when they get you. Men and women have to be sober-minded. The reason why me and my family has excelled in the United States of America is because I always see them coming. I was born on a cotton plantation in Haywood County, Tennessee. My father was a sharecropper when I was born. The most violent Klan faction in America was the Tennessee Klan. The Grand Wizard of the Tennessee Klan lived in my hometown, Brownsville, Tennessee. I didn't know this until I was reading David Garrow's piece in Standpoint Magazine about Martin Luther King Jr. He was talking about the FBI files and how legitimate they were, and he mentioned that, and it almost blew me. I said, what, he lived in Brownsville? Here's the thing. I called my dad and asked my dad about it. I said, Daddy, did the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan live in Brownsville? He said, yeah. I said, you know where he lives? He said, yeah. He lived right down. He told me exactly where he lived. I said, why didn't you ever tell me? He said, it did not matter, because he wasn't going to bother me, because I'd have blown his brains out. You see that? Oh, but we was all supposed to be scared back then. My father, it did not matter. It had no effect on him whatsoever. I would have blown his brains out if he had come near me. That's how I was reared. Always see them coming. And I'm using that to tell you right now, I have seen these people destroy a generation, 2 generations of black Americans. We've been like a scientific test for them so they can then put it all over the United States of America. They know how to do it now. Oh, put the hip hop music down there. N-word, B-word, W-word. Yeah. Let the children hear it. Wire them up to hate one another. And now they kill each other on the industrial level. They give them awards now, y'all. NAACP, yeah, they give rappers awards now. Give them awards for transitioning their children. And so it goes. Richard Pryor had this joke. He said if you, white people would see somebody in the black community high on heroin, and they say, oh, Lord, isn't this a shame? And then when it would come to the white community, he said, it's an epidemic. His joke said that what starts in the black community ends up in the white community. And I'm seeing it. All the pathologies that we've dealt with since it started in the 70s and 80s are now being brought into the white community. And it's been bought by the left. People, DEI is a Trojan horse. Let me in. Let me in to choose your leaders and choose the people to elevate. Let me in. And I'll choose the best ones. Are you boss? Yes, I will. And then they end up getting the ones who are not going to do you any good whatsoever because they haven't. Have they? They haven't. See, the proving ground, you guys, is the NFL, NBA. America accepts those young men on the football and basketball field because they know they all earned it. We have no doubt. This is why the Super Bowl we watched the last time was the most watched TV show in the history of television. All those black men out there on the football field, everybody just cheering, cheering, cheering. You know why? Because you know all of them earned their right to be out there. It is no doubt. Those coaches are not going to put you out there if you don't earn it. And we accept it because of that. This goes back to the biblical concept of why DEI is so dangerous, so misconstrued, and so ridiculous. In our Bible, we can go all the way back to Genesis. I decided to read my Bible over again. I read it many times, but I started reading it again last year. And I read something that had gone over my head 100 times. Thomas Wolfe said you can see things 100 times before you see it once. And I had read Genesis and the story of Cain and Abel 100 times. And I missed this. We all know the story. Cain was angry because God had accepted his brother Abel's offering, and it turned down Cain's. God, understanding that Cain was angry, went to see his grandson and confronted him. And he gave Cain an insight into how the human mind works, how he had wired it up. He said, Cain, why are you angry? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if not, sin waits for you at the door to master you, but you must master it. Think about that. God said, if you do well, will you not be accepted? Y'all, that kills DEI it kills it. And it is proven to be correct every time. Jesse Owens goes to Nazi Germany in the 30s and beats Adolf Hitler. He gets a ticker tape parade in New York City. You can see it online. Just hundreds, thousands of people out there just cheering him. Black man beating a bunch of Nazis and Americans. Joe Louis knocks out Max Melling in Yankee Stadium at the eve of World War II. And everybody cheers Joe Louis, a black man. You have Jackie Robinson knocking his home runs. He finally gets called up by Branch Rickey. And then he becomes so good that nobody in baseball, no one in Major League Baseball can ever wear his number again. Number 42 is retired forever. Nobody can wear it. Muhammad Ali, shuffling, hitting, jabbing. They tried to put him in jail, took everything he had. But at the end of his life, he said, I am the greatest. What's on his tombstone? I'm the greatest. Why? They all did well. DEI on top, they let us choose. You can't do well. You can't do it on your own. They have the nerve to say that they're superior to me. If you say you have some type of privilege over me, you're telling me you're superior to me. That's interesting, isn't it? I got a room full of mostly white Americans in here right now. Which one of y'all got privilege over me? I want to see you. Oh, nobody standing? White supremacy. Which one of you is supreme over me? And we're correct. You know why? No one can be superior to me because I'm an heir of Jesus Christ and I'm a child of God, same as you. We are all equal. We are all brothers and sisters. We all have gifts. We're not like a herd of animals who all are the same and do the same thing. God made us all so completely different. Oh my goodness, one person can play a piano, one person can sing, one person can cook, one is a doctor, one is a mechanic, one is an HVAC man, one is a landscaper, and we make this beautiful society, and our job is to elevate each other's gifts. Elevate them. We are here to find, what do you do well? God gave you something. And when you find it, man, that's a beautiful thing. If you're a lawyer, God, I want you to be a good lawyer because I don't want to be going to jail because you're not going. If you're a doctor, I want you to be a good doctor because I don't want to die when I lay on the table with you, man. If you're a good cook, oh, God, I love you. I want to pay my money. I want to eat my meals. Oh, man, here's a good tip. You know, the world is beautiful when we do that. But instead, they want to say, oh, I don't have what I am supposed to have because of you. You don't have the power to hold me down. Walking around, looking at somebody I don't know, pointing at them, telling them, you held me down. No. And to every American, let me tell you this. I'll give you permission to say this to anybody. If somebody comes up to you and tells you that you are responsible for where they are in their life, you tell them this. You say, let me tell you something, man. If you need a good preacher, I'll help you find one. If you need a good job, I'll help you get one. If you need a good education, learn to read and write, I'll help you, I'll teach you myself. But I will not live in condemnation for you. You're going to not make me feel bad about your trifling behavior. And if you don't want to accept that, if you come and try to take anything from me or mine, I got two things that'll get you off of me, and that's Jesus and my 38. You better not try me. That's the message, y'all. That's how you help your brother. And then stand there and say, now what you want to do? What you want to do? Nobody's scared of you. Go walk up to me and try to condemn me because you didn't want to go to school. All this stuff started in the 60s with the civil rights movement. Black people were making gains, y'all, and I wrote this in my first book, Iron Triangle, and I wrote it in 25 Lies. I'd studied the time between 1940 after World War II and 1960 for the civil rights movement, and black people were closing the gap without any marching. I mean, we had Joe Louis, we had integrated baseball, we had cut our poverty rate from 80% to 30%. The black family was intact. 80% of our children were born in wedlock. Nobody was going to prison. And then the civil rights movement started and said that we were all victims, and that we need to come to government to help us. We were on our way to being like other minority groups in America, the Jewish people, Asian people, people that descended from India. set aside but doing better than the white population. And then the civil rights movement happened. And now if you look at black America, they've rejected it. The whole concept of believing that you could force compliance, force people to accept you, was insanity. You can't do it. It has to be a natural affinity for one another. You have to learn to love one another. So how is it supposed to work? All right, Martin Luther King walks up there and he says, and I saw this at the Lorraine Motel. I was there doing some research. They turned it into a museum. And they were looping his I Have a Dream speech. And I'd heard that speech 1,000 times. This time I heard it different because Kaepernick and all these guys were kneeling. They were angry. I was born on a cotton plantation, and I'm not angry, right? What are these guys angry about? And I heard King say something that I said, that's the poison pill right there. King said, 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, the Negro is still not free. That is a lie. I was born free. According to John Locke, in his second treatise of government, my freedom is a gift from God. It is an unalienable right. That's why Thomas Jefferson used it in the Declaration of Independence. It's unalienable. It's given to you by God, not by government. It is irrevocable, non-transferable, and unsellable. So people say, well, they put you in jail. Have they taken your freedom? No, they have not. They've taken your liberty. Your freedom is here. While you're in their jail, God is still going to hold you responsible for everything that you do. If you lie, if you steal, if you kill somebody, how you conduct yourself. Your freedom is here. And you're going to be held responsible for your freedom. So he says 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, we're not free. He said 5 times in that speech we were not free, and then we had to come to government for our freedom. It turned the Declaration of Independence on its head because Thomas Jefferson told the king, we are free. God gave us our freedom. And the king said, no, I gave it to you. Thomas said, well, we'll see about that. You want to ride this train? Come on, ride it. And then they signed a document saying, we pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Think about this now. The founding fathers knew King George was coming. King George said, when I get there, I ain't going to just kill you. I'm going to bring you back to Great Britain. I'm going to hang you till you're almost dead. Then I'm going to cut you open. I'm going to pull your guts out, and I'm going to castrate you. Then I'm going to cut off your limbs and some of the othermost parts of the British Empire. That's what I'm going to do to every last one of y'all. And they said, sign the document and send it to him. We pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. That's why these guys are legendary. Instead, y'all want to give us DEI. Let us do it for you. Let us choose your leadership for you. Never me, never me. So if I see somebody with DEI on his application, I'm going to say it is dead on arrival as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to ride on the plane with him. I'm not going to let him be my doctor, and he sure can't be my friend. So then you turn to abortion. Good God. Y'all, this is how I see abortion. It's baked into the cake of our culture now. And to make abortion illegal is admirable. But I want to make it unthinkable. And we do that, we'll have to make it illegal. My great-grandmother had 14 children, my grandmother had 16, and my mother had 7. And then Margaret Sanger decided that black people were human weeds. That's what she called us. And she started this little side project called the Negro Project, designed to exterminate the black community. And she's been doing a pretty good job of it. They've killed over 20 million black children since Roe v. Wade in 1972. They say they kill about 1,000 a day. That's a child and a half a minute. So since I've been up here, y'all, about 50 children have been murdered in the United States of America. And the left says, full speed ahead. The nation is dying. Our rate of, we were supposed to be at a 2.1 rate of replenishing ourselves, but right now we're at 1.6. The nation is dying. And they say full speed ahead. This is a death cult, man. Kill them. Kill as many as you can. I was reading my Bible, and it said that in Exodus, when the children of Israel started to getting too numerous and the Pharaoh came up that didn't know Joseph, he went to the midwives and said, whenever you find yourself a boy child, kill him. Kill him. The left has said the exact same thing. Kill him. Then take his body parts and sell it to the pharmaceutical industry. Make some money off of it. Kill him. Reminds me of Dred Scott. And the Supreme Court said that Dred Scott had no rights that a white man needed to adhere to. He's nothing more than a chicken or a cow. Just because you said a dog's tail is a leg don't make it a leg, does it? The Supreme Court said that we were not human beings. Did that make us not human beings? It says the same thing now about children. Does it make them not human beings? The left will tell you that even though a fetus has all of the functions of life, that it's not alive. How insane is that? Growth, metabolism, reaction to stimuli, all of it. That's not alive. What did Satan tell Eve in the garden? You won't surely die. Always whispering in your ear, always putting that doubt in there. Killed about 40 million white children since Roe v. Wade. Full speed ahead. It's amazing when you conclude that only about 60 million died in World War II. And it's full speed ahead. They look at it, it is an inverse of morality and virtue. It is a mirror image of everything that we're supposed to believe as a people and as a nation. A government set up to kill its own population. You ever heard of such a thing? And to see it happening in real time. So how did we get there? Well, they made Christianity illegal almost all over the nation. You can only do it in your home or in the church. Y'all understand this. The First Amendment is not attached to the place. The First Amendment is attached to the person. It's like your insurance, right? Once you get your life insurance, wherever you go, you're insured. Once you get your medical and health insurance, wherever you go, you're insured. They know this. They're hoping that you don't. And this is why YAF is so important, y'all. We have to speak out and educate people about this. Thank you for not being quiet about this. Thank you for having the courage to bring me here to tell you about this from a black man's point of view. Thank you for allowing me to come here to tell you that from my point of view, I have seen them lock up my people in prison. I have seen them put them into poverty. I've seen them destroy families. I've seen them put drugs and hatred in my community. I've seen them cause a dysfunction in the black community that if we do not cure it, it's not just going to destroy it, it's going to destroy the rest of this nation. They see it. They have the same stats in front of them that I have. They think they can force people to like each other. They tell you, you know, that you can let demented men go into the bathroom with your wives and your daughters. Demented men play on sports teams with your daughters. Demented men go into the prisons. Y'all, it is what Starbucks said in Moby Dick. I see a madman, but get more madmen. Madness and insanity can be spread just like goodness and virtue can. When I was working in prison, the one thing that we had a charge called inciting a riot. Because one inmate can start raising hell and start causing, and everybody else just join in. Herd mentality, inciting a riot. The left is doing the same thing here. At the end of World War II, when they asked the Nazis, what was wrong with you guys? Following the crowd, taking orders, doing what the higher-ups told us to do. It's easy to do that. What is hard? Standing alone. James A. Garfield said that a brave man looks the devil in the eye and he calls him a devil. I look them straight in the eye and I call them evil. Either evil or insane. We must stand up to them. So whenever you look into the black community and they try to deflect and they try to say there's somebody else besides them that's causing all of this damage, you say, no, it was you. It was you. It was you that put my child in prison. It was you that put my daughter into prostitution. It was you that foreclosed on my home. It was you that took my job. It was you that destroyed the economy and destroyed the family in my community. It was you. Wasn't nobody, it was you. You've been in charge for over 60 years. And all I've seen is death and despair. It was you. And I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you. I've seen too much death. I've seen too much dysfunction. So as I've said before, and I say again, I have fought these people most of my adult life. I fought them in the prisons. I fought them on the streets. I have fought them in the halls of power. I will fight them till hell freezes over, and when hell freezes over, I'll fight them on ice. Thank you for inviting me tonight. I've had a great time. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We will now begin our Q&A portion. If you have a question, if you line up in the hall right there, please keep it brief and state your name. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello. I'd like to thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to thank you for coming today.
my pleasure.
I've got
Thank you.
a card that I'd like to offer you as a token of my thanks, if I may.
Okay.
Thanking you for the, it's a preliminary figure, but $770 that we've raised to support women's reproductive freedom based on your visit. My question is, in the introduction of your book, 25 Lies, you seemingly gleefully recount throwing a man down a set of stairs.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, given that South Carolina does not have a statute of limitations on assault, is it wise for you to publish a book where you gleefully recount assaulting an inmate?
I was smart enough not to call his name.
I'm sorry?
I was smart enough not to call his name,
Oh, yeah.
but I did throw him down the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah. And then garnered the respect of everybody in the penitentiary after that. Yes.
Hello, my name is Simeon Hasbrook. I'm a student here at University of Iowa.
Just for a quick, for this, for smart guy. But also, it was justified. You can restrain inmates when they don't agree with what you say. And if he happens to fall down the stairs or get thrown down the stairs, that's part of the job. He should have obeyed. Got it? Hopefully one day you won't go to jail and they won't throw you down the stairs. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Simeon. I'm a student here at University of Iowa. Thank you for coming here.
No,
first
my
of
pleasure.
All.
Thank you.
I appreciate hearing these views and stuff. So my question pertains to pro-life, and obviously it's a label that the conservative movement has taken.
Yeah.
And I agree that being anti-abortion is being pro-life, but I also think that there's a moral hypocrisy that occurs when you're not also anti-contraception. Because if you believe that when sperm and egg meet, life begins at conception, and we should do what we can to protect it, it seems anti-life to say that you can stop the sperm from eating the egg, and therefore not allow life that could have otherwise come into existence happen. And so I'm wondering if, as conservatives call themselves pro-life, if maybe it's morally inconsistent to be anti-abortion but not anti-contraception. I want to know what your thoughts are on that.
I mean, it could be. It's one of those things that, as I've said before, we can try to use law to try to force people to comply, or we can teach, just like what you've just done. Bring it to them, change their minds. I prefer that because with all the laws being passed during the Civil Rights Movement, all the marching, all the fighting, all the hell raising, all the burning, all the death, America is more segregated now than it was before 1960. The law doesn't work. we have to, as Christians, change the hearts of people. Did Jesus Christ go to the Romans and ask them to help them spread Christianity? Of course not. He sent out his 12. They taught the people. We Christians are becoming too much like liberals now. We want to use government to force compliance when we should use our persuasive power of the gospel of Jesus Christ to do so. That's your best weapon. It works. And they don't have a right to stop you. These are one of those unalienable rights, and when they come and try to stop you, you say, get your hands off of me, or we're getting ready to get down, okay? This is why they don't want you to have the Second Amendment. But we have to stand up for our rights to proselytize, to tell the truth. And once you tell the truth, if they don't accept it, what did Jesus tell his disciples to do if they go into a city and preach his word and they don't listen to it? What did he say? Shake the dust off your feet. Go to somebody else. It'd be better for Solomon and Gomorrah than for that town. So that's what you do. We don't use the gun. Martin Luther King Jr. wouldn't change laws to use the gun. And it didn't work. It does not work. We have to change the hearts of people. We have to talk with them. We have to show them the face of Jesus. And then they will change themselves. Because that's what Christ always did, didn't he? When did he go into a town and put a gun to somebody's head and say, comply like Muhammad did with Islam? He didn't do that. We have to persuade people. So if you think that what you say is correct, use the power of persuasion. Use the Holy Ghost. Use the Holy Spirit. Use your tongue. And the people that will accept it will hear it. And who knows, you could probably change the world. But use that as a tool.
I want to just tap in with what he said right there. It is the preaching of the gospel that changes the hearts of men. So really, when he said that Christians are starting to behave like liberals because they want the government to make the change, I do think that that's something we're not going to beat those charges. So we need to go ahead and consider that. But even more than that, what are we doing? What have we been given in order to change and shape culture? It's the gospel. That's it. Nothing more. We haven't been given anything else but the gospel. Okay, let's finish this up. Shout out to everybody who's jumped into the best live chat on the internet.
Am I allowed to ask if you personally are against contraception or not? I know I agree with what you say about the political system shouldn't be used, and it's very hard to use a political system to define morality. Sure. I agree with that. I think you should do it as you're describing. I just want to know, do you personally?
Of course. I mean, you're married. You have children.
Okay.
So no, I want to have children are a blessing. I want to have as many as I can, as many grandchildren as I can. If I could have 20 children, I would. I love all of them. So like I said, I came from a big family, love children, wish I could have more. I'm thinking about adopting because I love them so much. So yeah, as many as I possibly can.
Okay, thank you, Ellison.
You're welcome.
Hi, my question is on DEI, particularly in the airline industries. I'm sure you've been following after the whole Reagan batch of FFA agents retired. Obama decided to diversify the FFA. We've seen a lot of problems from that, including 2 planes almost colliding and basically having to roller coaster away from each other, as well as United Airlines had 80% of its new flight class being women or people of color compared to 96% typically. Anyway, we've seen a lot of issues in the airline industries lately because of this, and it's gotten to the point where people go onto a plane, and if they see a woman pilot, they see a black pilot, they see basically any pilot that is not a white male, they're starting to worry about the competency of the pilot. How do we as a society overcome that? Because obviously we want to be respectful of people's races. We don't want to assume that someone is only in that position because of their color, but also we need to worry about our safety, and this is another issue that DEI is causing, is it's causing people to look at people who are in positions of power and of authority and have, negative thoughts about that. How do we overcome that and try to not see people who are in good positions as incompetent because of their race due to DEI?
We have to get the black community to sign off on it. Say that, just like the NFL and the NBA, we don't need your handouts, we don't need your crumbs. We can make it on our own. And that comes from a conversation that we have to start having in the black community, because right now we're still on this tip. We want reparations, we're still oppressed, we're still all of that. And what I do is I confront them with this, and I confront them with the truth. I say, how can you be oppressed if you are a child of God and heir of Jesus Christ? They can't answer that question. I convince them that after 50 years of affirmative action, you're still at the bottom, so what good is it doing you? It's not a hard sell, but too few people are trying to sell it, especially black people to other black people. So it's a sale that we're gonna have to make, but it's also us looking at companies that allow it and not buy from them, politicians that support it and not vote for them, I think that right now, as you know, there's a pushback on it because people are getting so angry about DEI. A lot of Fortune 500 companies are starting to just say, we're done with it, we're tired of it, we're not going to use it, because they see it is condescending and it does not work. Again, I can look a black brother in the eye and tell him, so you're still begging for the crumbs to fall from the white man's table, huh? And he has to respond to me. And he knows that he has to respond to me like a man, but he can't because that's what he's doing. And I tell him, you know, you're still a beggar. I mean, ante up, be a man. I respect the thief more than I respect the beggar. Stand up, take what you want, instead of begging for it. Because right now, as Frederick Douglass said after he whooped his slave master and left, he said that a man without power, that human dignity is constructed where a man, they cannot respect a helpless man. He can be pitied for a while, but only until strength rises up in him. And right now, the pity is gone. Black people in America are going to have to start competing. And when they compete, they do well. What did our Bible say? If you do well, will you not be accepted? Go out and compete. And this whole ideology of when Martin Luther King Jr. said, I have a dream that one day I will not be judged by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. Here's the thing. You will be judged by the content of your character. It is unavoidable. To think that the color of your skin is going to be the thing that's going to judge you in America, that is a lie. It will be your character. Even if somebody calls you the N-word, how you respond to that is going to determine how that relationship goes. Not being judged by the color of my skin. What's wrong with the color of my skin? Judge me by it. Underestimate me at your peril. Judge me by it. Vince Ellison is black, and what? You're going to think I'm going to be walking around America looking at some white racist and, excuse me, boss, don't judge me by the color of my skin. Never me. It was condescending. It was disrespectful. It set us back 100 years. Made us believe that something was wrong with the color of our skin and we had to apologize for it or dream for a day that we won't be judged by it. And then when you deal with the Christian concept from Jesus Christ, who says specifically, you are not to be concerned about how man views you. You're supposed to be concerned about how I view you and how you view yourself. The biggest trick they ever played on us, not that they saw that we were inferior, is that they made us believe that we were inferior. And who taught us that? It was our own people that taught us that. Who made you hate yourself from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet? That's what Malcolm X asked. It was the people on the left marching, begging, getting slapped around. Don't care how you feel about me. If you don't like me, that's your problem. You put your hands on me, you have another one. So again, we have to start reteaching the whole concept of Americanism and masculine Christianity to say, look, I earn what I get. If I find out that you've given it to me, I don't want it. I'm a man, I earn it. Instead, they started the welfare state where they, and something else you guys need to know about abortion. I'm sorry, I wanted to put that in. The first recipient of the Margaret Sanger Award, y'all know who that was? Anybody know? Martin Luther King Jr., 1966. Yeah. For helping us set up abortion clinics. Yeah, the black preacher was part of the Negro Project. That's what my book Iron Triangle talked about. The black preacher, the black politician, the black civil rights organizer, they are conduits between white liberals and poor black people, and they keep them under control. So that's the thing. They have to keep black people believing that they're inferior, that they need them to make it in America, and as long as they keep them there, they will keep them completely under control. So the counter to that is teaching them their Christian faith again and teaching them that you're more than a conqueror, that you're an heir of Jesus Christ, you're a child of God. No one is superior to you. Nothing can beat you. You will go through a brick wall if you need to. You cannot be stopped. And when they hear that message, I gave the sermon last Sunday before this last, at World Overcomers Church in Memphis, Tennessee. 12,500 member church. One of the biggest black congregations in America. Conservatives were taking bets on how long I was going to be on there before they killed me, because they thought they were going to just kill me. I'm walking in the lion's den. So my people, I'm not going to have a problem. Walked in the church, got 5 standing ovations. You can see it online. Why? Same exact message. You're an heir of Jesus Christ, you're a child of God. You're not inferior to anyone. If someone even acts like they're superior to you, you're supposed to say, show me how superior you are. Try me. That's the message. That's what we tell them. You have to say it. I have to say it. When they tell you that they're inferior or they need DEI, you ask the question, hey man, are you a child of God? You're a Christian? Yes, I am. Then why are you begging for my help? And that's how you change them. So whenever they come up to you again, you ask them that, okay? Christian, Muslim, Jew, ask them the same question. Is God your father? Yes, then you don't need my help. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and having a conversation with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
My question is, what are your thoughts on reparations?
Oh, man, it's Lucy moving the football on Charlie Brown. You're never going to get it. You know that song by En Vogue, you're never going to get it? Ever. It's putting the carrot in front of the horse to keep him moving, and he's never going to catch it. Look. All right, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give y'all something very, okay, I have a podcast, the Vince Everett Ellison Show. Y'all should watch it. I did a podcast on reparations and on slavery being a choice. And I tell them that I believe slavery was a choice because in 1776, when we started the American Revolution, George Washington and the British gave black slaves, said, you can have your freedom if you come fight. British said, we'll give it to you. Americans said, we'll give it to you. Some decided to fight. Some decided to stay on the plantation. Choice. War of 1812, same thing. You come fight, you get your freedom. Some came and fought. Some chose to stay on the plantation. Another choice. Mexican War, same choice. Come fight, get your freedom, or you can stay on the plantation. Chose to stay on the plantation. Civil War, same choice. Abraham Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation 1863. Told the black people down south, you're free, come fight for your freedom. 1% joined the Union Army. Rest stayed on the plantation, spent cotton, even though all of the men were going to fight for the Confederacy. Instead, they picked cotton to sustain the Confederacy, build the ramparts for the defense of the Confederate Army, and dug the ditches to try to help them defeat the Union Army. Another choice. After the Civil War, and this is where I get to your reparations, Homestead Act comes out, 1866, says that you can have forget 40 acres in a mule, you can have 150 acres. It was first passed in 1863, but and only white men could use it. But in 1866, they applied it to free black men also. And that you would have 150 acres of land. If you only will go out and work it for 5 years, you have it forever. You could use the land as collateral for your mule and for your house. Less than 5,000 took them up on it, and they were called the exodusters. Then they did the Southern Homestead Act with the same thing. 150 acres of land if you'll just work it. Less than 5,000 took them up. They turned down the reparations. Turned them down. And here's the coup de grace. If you want your reparations, go to Gettysburg, where there are Union dead laying there dead. Go to Antietam, where they said it was raining lead while those young men were fighting to free the slaves. Go to Shiloh. Yeah, go to Vicksburg. Those are your real reparations. 600,000 Union dead to free you from slavery, while most of you decided to pick cotton to help the people that had you enslaved. So you just had an education, and when they come and ask you about reparations, that's what you tell them, all right? Point them out to Vicksburg. Point them out to Antietam. Tell them to go somewhere around where there are young men who died young and never had children and never had families, whose descendants were erased to give them their freedom. That's your reparations. And then you turn them down after the Civil War. And then these liberals are making fools out of these people by telling them, we're going to give you a check. One guy said it'll cost $23 trillion. America's only worth $23 trillion. You don't get, we're supposed to give the black people, the whole nation, everything. Google, X, Alphabet. It's ridiculous. And the fact that these people will listen to it and think that it is plausible shows you it's something wrong with them. It will never, ever, ever, ever happen. When Jesus come back, they can ask him for the reparations. I'm sure he'll have enough to give it to him. So, thanks for the question.
Hi there. This has been an interesting perspective, and you mentioned briefly your perspective on your views on the anti-abortion or pro-life. And I was just curious on what your opinion is on when women or sometimes young children, because periods can start and you can get pregnant at sometimes as early as 9, 10, 11, 12 years of age get raped and get pregnant, and how what you feel about that in terms of abortion. And
Yeah,
rape.
that's an extreme. And what I do is I always tell people I can never hold a person responsible for something that they didn't have any part in, of being a victim of something. I will say this. I don't think that if a rapist doesn't get the death penalty, the child shouldn't get the death penalty. I would hope that whenever a mother would feel the child inside of her, that she would have the child. I can't control that, though. I can understand why she wouldn't want to. I can understand why people would pass laws saying that in cases of rape and incest, things like that, or the life of the mother, that those should be exceptions. As I said before, though, I'm not one of these people that march and want to change laws. I want to change the hearts of people. Because as you know, and this is not to excuse rape at all, y'all, so don't try to say Vince Ellison is for rape, all right? With my people, you can go through the different shades of their color and understand that rape was a thing on the plantations of the Civil War, before the Civil War. And if they were aborting their children back then, I probably wouldn't be here. And a lot of us wouldn't. That's just the fact of the game. So we don't understand God's plans. We just do not. Sometimes the worst things that happen to you can start a series of great events in your life, sometimes from a rape. I was talking to this young lady the other day. She works for Ellison. I won't call her name because I don't have permission to. And when we were talking, we started talking about abortion. And she said that I am a survivor of an abortion. And my heart just said, Lord have mercy. She was just as beautiful and just as sweet. And she said she survived an abortion. And I've met people that have survived abortions. And it's amazing to understand that this person could have been gone. Just like that. We don't have to agree with how something starts. That's not what's important. It's how it ends. That's the thing that's most important. And we, as human beings, cannot see the ending of all things. We're trying to put ourselves in the place of God. And we do not know that we might have aborted the child that could have cured cancer, could have cured blindness, could have cured paralysis. By us putting ourselves in God's place, we're destroying ourselves. I would hope to change the hearts of people, as so many of the black women who were raped back in the day on the slave plantation said, I'm going to have my child. Alex Haley, if any of y'all saw Roots, you remember his mother, Chicken George's mother was raped by the guy that owned the plantation. She had a baby. And because she had a baby, Alex Haley was here. And Alex Haley was light-skinned and that. So it's not to justify rape. I'm saying that we just cannot see the end of things. You can look at your Bible and see how things started out terribly, but they ended up well. How Joseph ended up being thrown in a pit by his brothers and lied to his father and put in prison, but it led to Israel coming about. We saw how something as terrible as the Holocaust ended up with forming Israel, the nation of Israel. We cannot see all things. We try to put ourselves in God's place, and we're not God. Thank you, dear.
All right, this will be the last question of the night.
Hi, my name's Ryan. I'd like to say thank you for coming here tonight.
My pleasure, thank you.
My question for you is, so the Iowa Board of Regents has recently put 10 recommendations in place to limit the DEI in our school. What are some suggestions you have to reduce and or completely eliminate DEI initiatives in this university?
I think they need to do one thing, and that is correct the public educational system. DEI and affirmative action has to be in place in colleges and universities because the public education system fails black children. End of story, point blank, period. They need to go back to the source of it. When you come out of college not being able to read or do math or do science, and you want to go to college, and then the colleges say, we want a diverse student body. And I can understand you wanting that. I really can. But then they say, but good God, the guy can't read. He can't write. So what do? We have to lower the scores to get him in because we wanted it. And instead, the colleges should go back down to the high schools or the grammar schools and say, we got to hold y'all. Look at what you're sending us. They need to take the system and privatize it and make the public system and the private system compete. But see, y'all, this is what they want. This isn't rocket science, okay? They have the stats in front of them that's telling them that these children cannot read, that they cannot do science, that they're dysfunctional, that 60% of the people inside of Washington, D.C. cannot read a bus pass. They know this. Ralph Abernathy wrote in his book, "And the Walls Came Tumbling Down," he said that in the 80s, after Dr. King had got shot, he went to the black caucuses and told them that the welfare state is destroying the black family. We got to do something about this. And he said in his book, he said, and something interesting happened. It pleased them to have 3 generations of black people on welfare. Ralph Abernathy wrote that. It keeps them under control. It keeps them where they have to vote for them. And then Ralph Abernathy went and endorsed Ronald Reagan for president because Ronald Reagan had done something to get people off of welfare. The public education system is used to destroy the black community and keep it under control. They have them no longer picking cotton, but have them picking votes. And until these people start losing, they're not going to change a thing. Why would they? They get 90% of the market share. If you would get 90% of the market share, would you change a thing? So it takes people like us. It's almost like going back to the abolitionist movement again. Going down there, but this is how we should do it as Christian brothers and sisters. These are your brothers and sisters. They need help. And even if we're doing well, we need to say, yeah, but down there, those ghettos, those schools are terrible. We're going to help get school choice started and get those children out of those failing schools. And if you do that, just like the basketball court, just like the football field, do you need DEI affirmative action for that? Of course not. Matter of fact, the white boys need affirmative action and DEI when it comes down to that. But here's the cool thing. Y'all ain't complaining. You know why? Because you know you got beat straight up. He's better than me. I'm gonna just cheer for him. Instead, we've been taught that if we get beat from the civil rights movement, it's because of the color of your skin. And you can't change that. But if you really gave him an exit exam and said, no, son, it's because you came in here with tats on your face. You came in here, you didn't take a bath. You came in here, your hair was all crazy. You didn't have a suit on. No, that's character. You can change character. But they say it's the color of your skin. And they keep these children trapped in condemnation, keep them trapped in a false lie that they cannot change their situation. And it is a lie. Y'all, it is a lie from the pit of hell. In America, you can have any and everything. My father pulled us out of the cotton field by working in the insurance industry. He became very prominent. We started a gospel singing group called the Ellison family. He started his own insurance agency, became a very, very wealthy man. He started a gospel music show that he was a DJ for from 6 to 12 o'clock at night. He did it for 30 years, retired from it. My father has had citations from the President of the United States of America, the U.S. Congress, and the U.S. Senate for his work out of that cotton field. That's what, if you do well, will you not be accepted? He's a living legend down where I live. He's 81 years old now, and everybody loves him. Our Bible tells us, I am young, but now I'm old. And I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed beg bread. I believed that all of my life, and I never wanted for anything in my life here in America. My brothers and sisters believe that, and we have excelled. If I told you my family story and what we do, you would be completely amazed. We came from one of the poorest places in America, and we have all excelled. Privilege? No one has privilege over me. Why? Because I believe what my Bible says. If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you don't accept me, I don't care. I'm not going to run behind you asking for your approval. I'm not going to beg for your approval. I'm not going to walk behind you, stalking you, wanting to eat beside you, using the toilet beside you, because I've used the toilet beside white men, y'all, and I'm telling you, it's overrated, okay? That ain't my thing. Muhammad Ali says a sick mind that wants to be somewhere that you're not wanted. You think I want to work for somebody that's a racist? He a racist. Well, I'm going to make you hire me. I don't want to work for a racist. I want to find out if you're a racist. Why? Because I want to work for you. He don't want to serve me. Well, let me know because I don't want to eat here. I'm going to make you take my money. You might be spitting in my food. It's crazy. It's an insane concept. Bring good people to you. Push bad people away. That's how we fix it. And let the bad, and if you push the bad people away and put them in a corner somewhere, they'll kill each other. And the good people will do well. Black, white, Jew, Gentile, Muslim, we all come together and we form a great society and put the bad people over in the corner and let them fight and kill like they do in the ghettos now anyway. You don't even want to go down there. Don't nobody want to be down there. Go to Baltimore, go to Detroit, go to Memphis. Horrible. So we speak the truth. We speak it through our faith. And we speak it with conviction. And believe me, when you speak it, there's nowhere they can run. Thank you for your question. Is that it? Thank you so much, y'all. I had a ball.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit. All right. Shout out to Vince Everett Ellison. Shout out to him for that. And I just wanted to rock that with y'all and let y'all give it a chance to check it out. Let me know what you think about it. Of course, all that kind of good jazz like that. And I'm going to probably drop this and make it available on the channel and just get some feedback from other people that weren't able to hop in on this morning. So this was just a quick live stream this morning. I did not have it planned or scheduled necessarily, but I was going to record the video anyway. So I figured I'd check it out with y'all. So thank you so much for tapping in with me. I do have some people coming to do some work at the house, so I need to get ready to get moving. But I want to say thank you so much for watching. I got a couple of videos about Candace Owens as well as Umar and some other things popping up the rest of the day. So come check them out. Let me know what you think about it. If you didn't already leave it, go ahead and hit the like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about Ellison's lecture. Did you like it? Did you disagree? What areas? I see some commentary right here. What areas did you feel like he should have been a little bit more fine-tuned in? How would you have addressed some of these questions? The guy just hit the door, so let me go ahead and go. Until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.